Hey yo guys, Shuppet Speed back here with another video. So today we're just going to do no matches really. We're just going to go over some new information that came out with this new update. I believe it's update 3.05, I think. Well, I'll put it in the description so that way we know for sure. I'm going to go over all the things that happened in the update, but first I'm just going to, put the Dragon Gym Cup to a close, go ahead and finish this off. And just showing you how I finished and what the rankings were. So I finished with a ranking of 29,000 something. Let's see, 29,106, which is pretty terrible. If we look at the ranking rewards here, let's see. So I finished in the second bracket here, which means I just got the silver trophy. And if we look at my reward wins, I only got to somewhere between 27 and 30 because I did not get the trophy. So that's pretty lame because my road to Dragonite has failed. I fell short. There just simply wasn't enough time from when I was able to play. So that's unfortunate, but it's okay. We'll do another road series whenever the next gym comes out. So that's the road to Dragonite. That is the series ended. Now we're going to go ahead and go into the shop here, just so I can show you guys the new figures that were added in the update. So to start off, Delphox, Torterra, and Groudon all got buffs, and just a little bit of reworking to their figure. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna link the website that I found the information from in the description if you wanted to look up their specific wheels, simply because I can't. They are not available in the game to show you, so I'll just link that in the description. But we do have some figures to show that you can get through the material exchange that are new, and we're going to go ahead and go through each one and show what they can do. So the first one from the update was, let's see here, okay, so here's Liepard. So Liepard is a new figure, rare, and it's a 2 movement point, dark type, no ability. And if we look at the wheel, we have a 24% chance of an assist to purple 1-star, feint attack 50 each, and that's a 40% chance total. And then we have the dodge, which is 28% chance, and then the 4% miss. So overall, honestly, not that bad of a figure, because the assist has the ability of a random Pokemon on your bench other than Liepard spins, and the attack spin takes the place of this attack. So if you had like a heavy hitter on your bench, then you could have some really cool matches with Liepard. I don't know if it's going to get a lot of play, but it is an interesting figure, and I wouldn't mind trying it out. So that was the first one. Let's see, did I just start at the top? Nope, okay. So Liepard, okay, so Rhydon. Rhydon is very, very interesting. So he's a rock ground, and he has the ability Reckless Charge, and it says that this Pokemon can move 2 steps in a straight line. So that's kind of really cool because that movement point of 1 is actually enhanced if you just run that down the flank. And if we're looking at his wheel, he's got the Horn Drill of a 28% chance, and it says the battle opponent is knocked out, very similar to Aura Sphere from Lucario. We've got a 20% chance of a miss on either side of the Horn Drill, and then we have the 48% chance of the Stomp, which is a 60 white move. So he's just interesting because, you can get a lot of cool, moves with him because he has that ability, and honestly, he's pretty strong because you hit that Horn Drill and he's knocking out any white Pokemon, so he's pretty interesting, but in addition to him being interesting, his evolution, Rhyperior, is like, I think that this is going to be very, very fun to play. He doesn't have any abilities, and he's an EX with 1 movement point, but his purple move, Rock Wrecker, is 2 stars, and it says knock out one of your opponent's flying-type Pokemon within 2 steps, which is pretty cool. So a lot of flying types are getting played right now, Salamence, Latias, Rayquaza, Reshiram, Zekrom, all those guys. So this is pretty interesting because you get to just knock, whatever you want out. And it says when using the Long Barrel Plate, it says knock out one of your opponent's fire, ice, flying, or bug Pokemon that are 2 to 3 steps away. So you can do mad things with this guy, and I'm very intrigued to see how he's going to get played in the meta. He's got a 4, 8, 12, so you got a 12% chance of a miss, and a Pokemon like him is going to be really bad for confusion because he's going to hit the miss like almost every time. He's got a 20% chance of the Bulldozer, which is again really interesting because it says this Pokemon knocks the battle opponent out and takes one step back. I'm sorry, wait. If this Pokemon knocks the battle opponent one step back and it claims the previous spot. So pretty much, even if you put him in a... Well, he might not be that good in a defender situation, because if he does that, then you might get hurdle jumped. But it's still just an interesting ability, and I'm glad that they're kind of switching around the blue section there, instead of just like the protect and the dodge and all that jazz. It's actually having some more effects, so that's pretty cool. And then Rock Blast, a 28% chance of hitting it, but it's 100 damage. So it's pretty much like the Fire Spin, all that jazz, but it's 100 damage. You hit 2 of those, you're hitting 200 damage. Nothing, well, I wouldn't say nothing, but it's very unlikely that anyone's going to beat 200 damage, like off a straight white attack. Like, because you could theoretically hit Charizard with Fire Spin, so I'm not going to say never, but it's very unlikely. So he's probably my favorite one from the update. Let's see what else we got here. We got the Noctowl, which I'm actually very intrigued to play Noctowl. He's an uncommon with a 2 movement point, so he shouldn't be that hard to get. And he's got the Mega Hypnosis, which is a 3-star, and it makes the opponent fall asleep. And then the Clutch, which is 50 damage. So 64% chance of hitting it, and a 50 damage, which isn't bad because, I don't know, I'm just really intrigued. With the Insomnia, he can't be affected by sleep, so that's good. But you could run like a cool sleep deck with 3 Noctowls, 3 Leafeons, put everything to sleep that you can, well, maybe not 3 and 3, you'd have to have some sort of defender and a beater, but, that's just, there's so many cool decks that I think that you can make with him, so if I do have the opportunity to pick one up, I definitely will try him out and see if I like him, because I do like the sleep ability. With him putting people to sleep, then you could have the Leafeon to go ahead and just swoop through, because he has the Thicket ability. So Noctowl is pretty cool. And then another big one is the Heatran. Now you look, there's a lot of stuff going on right here. So let's go ahead and start with the ability. The Heatran's ability is Surprise Strike, and it says if there is an opponent's Pokemon on your entry point, and this Pokemon is on the bench at the beginning of your turn, this Pokemon can move next to that Pokemon and battle. So, and after the battle, if this Pokemon is not knocked out, move it to the bench. So pretty much, you get a chance, like if you're in a pickle, to just, attack, which is really cool because it's like, when the Pokemon on your 2 entry points, you're pretty much, out of luck. So that's a pretty cool situation. And he does have a relatively decent wheel. He's got a 110 Iron Head, which has a 24% chance of hitting, a 24% chance of hitting a 70 Crunch, which isn't that bad. 24% chance of hitting the Crunch, which is 70 each, which isn't that bad, because if you level that up, 71 beats a lot of things. So that's pretty cool. He does have an overall total of like a 16% chance miss, which is kind of bad, but you could, work that way up if you level him up. And then the Magma Slide says the battle opponent is knocked 2 steps back and becomes burned, and the opponent now has weight. So again, very, very interesting, and I'm very intrigued to see him played because he does have the 2 movement points, so he's pretty good overall. The only thing that you'd have to worry about is confusion. If he gets hit with confusion, you're gonna hit miss almost every time. It's very unlikely because that 16% chance of miss, and especially if you whittle that down. You're going to hit it if you hit Magma Slide, Crunch, Iron Head, literally any of them. So that's interesting that they're balancing it like that, because now what you could have is, if the meta becomes Heatran, then the counter meta would be just having somebody that could confuse you, So it's just nice to see that the game is adding all these interesting new features. And I think the last one was Cottony. So we did get Whimsicott pretty recently, and so Cottony's been added. And let's just take a look. So it says any dragon, the ability is Fairy Powder, and it says any dragon type Pokemon that battles this Pokemon will become paralyzed. So that's pretty cool. Just like an anti-dragon deck, with the Reshiram and the Zekrom and all that stuff. It's kind of nice to see them balancing it out a little bit. He does have a 12% chance of a miss, a 40 tackle with 40 white attack, an 8% of a dodge, which isn't that great. And then the Cotton Guard is a 1-star purple move that says, in this Pokemon's next battle, it cannot be knocked out. So, kind of interesting. I don't know if he'd be the best for evolutions, but it is definitely a nice little figure, and I'm glad that they, finished out the line. So, with that, those are the new figures that were added in the update. And honestly, I'm pretty happy with the update. I'm just glad that they're, taking their opportunities to introduce new Pokemon in interesting ways. And I definitely like that all of them have some sort of play. You could use any of them in a deck if you really wanted to, and you could make decks around them. I'm not saying that they're all the best, but they're definitely intriguing. And so that was the update. We're going to go ahead and end this video off, but I just wanted to let you guys know of everything that happened and all the figures that were changed or added. Like I said, I will have a link in the description for the site that I found the information on Delphox, Torterra, and Groudon on. So if you wanted to know that information, you could go ahead and just click the link, and that'll send you to that page. So if you guys liked the video, comment, subscribe, let me know, and let me know of any cool decks that I could do. I'm looking to change up my team pretty drastically. And that's the end of the video, guys. So that's Shuppet Speed signing off. You guys have a good day.